What's good, Washington fans? Just a quick review of OTAs number 5 here. Just want to talk about my guy, Heinicke, man. He's gained 15 pounds since the offseason. So this guy, he knows that he needed to bulk up. This is what he needed to do to improve and get stronger. You know, he was kind of, I'm not going to say he was frail last year, but he was really skinny. And kind of that's how Ron Rivera likes his quarterback. Like Kyle Allen's kind of on the skinny side. Taylor Heinicke's on the skinny side. He likes these guys that are mobile dual threat quarterbacks, guys that can evade and get out the pocket and extend plays. And Taylor Heinicke, he got banged up last year. The few times that he did play, he got banged up. The Buccaneers were sending a blitz after him. They were trying to get this guy. They were really trying to blitz this guy and rattle Taylor Heinicke. He did a heck of a job. Now they did nick him up and bang him up. But next year, coming up, if he's stronger, he looks bigger. It's noticeable how that he did gain the 15. You can definitely see, he's got some more cuts in his arm. So I'm excited to see that, man. Maybe he really can push Ryan Fitzmagic for that starting spot. And that's why I'm excited for preseason, because if he balls out in preseason and does just as good as Fitzmagic or even better, then maybe he could push him for that starting position. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But he did practice today. He went through some drills, but he didn't do 11 on 11s. You saw he had a bandage on his forehead. His tooth was chipped. He got stitches. Ron Rivera's making fun of him because of the bandage on his head. He called him Rocky. He was making fun of him in the press conference. It was kind of a freak accident in a walkthrough. So they're doing drills with a running back, and the running back elbowed him in the face, caught him in the face. So it sounded pretty painful, but he's a tough guy, so he laughed at it during the press conference. So. But yeah, some quick nuggets of guys that were here and not here today. Chase Young was not here today. Montez Sweat arrived yesterday. He wasn't there last week. Jonathan Allen decided not to go. Remember, these are voluntary workouts. Now, I know some people are worked up about Chase Young not being there. I understand he is a captain, and you want your leader to be there, but they are voluntary. We know Chase Young's getting the work in and getting the work done. There was a video of him on Instagram yesterday where he was running on a football field with a trainer. He looked pretty darn fast. So I know the guy's not just sitting around and eating chips and whatnot. The guy's definitely working hard. I know some people definitely wanted him to be there, but he definitely will be there for mandatory minicamp. Jack Del Rio, during the press conference, said that he talked to Chase Young on the phone last night, and Chase Young will be there soon. So some other injury nuggets here. Curtis Samuel was on the sideline. Looks like he had a groin injury. Nothing too serious, but Ron Rivera was just being cautious with it. Also being cautious with Sadiq Charles. He was on the sideline. Said he's still, getting back from the surgery. So he'll go for 2 days and then he'll sit out 1 day. So Sadiq Charles has not played a full game yet. But I wouldn't be too concerned about him being on the sidelines. So those are the guys that participated. And then a defensive lineman named David Wise. This is the injury report from today. He was carted off the field, so I'm wishing a speedy recovery for him. Hope everything's okay. He was signed as a future reserve player. And then also, so Kyle Allen was taking second-team reps while Ryan Fitzpatrick was taking first-team reps. So first, we'll go over some plays that I heard about that happened. Last time I was excited because Dyami Brown burnt Troy Apke. So I got his name right, Dyami, not Diami. I apologize to my man Dyami for getting his name wrong. It just sounds cooler because he's just like Dyami Dynamic, but it's really Dyami. So people were getting at me in the comments in the last video. I'm getting it right this time. So a little nugget was John Bates just caught a contested passes from Zach Selby, Washington Football beat reporter, with Kendall Fuller all over him. I keep saying it and I'll say it again. Bates is going to surprise some people this year. So that's what he's saying about John Bates. 4th round pick out of Boise State. We'll see what he can do. Ricky Seals-Jones, who was picked up, he practiced yesterday for the first time. So we got some tight end competition here for that second spot. So of course Logan Thomas is your starter, and then we'll see if John Bates will be the second tight end or Ricky Seals-Jones will be the third tight end. I know some people are discussing, should we go after Zach Ertz? We'll see. I highly doubt that happens, but it's something to think about. But John Bates, man, he's a good blocker. So if he can be a receiving threat. We hear that he has soft hands, good hands. People like him. I mean, he's a good blocker. We'll see what he can do. It sounds like he's been athletic at camp and has some really good hands. He can get through the seams, and he's a good cat. He's really good at catching and over the middle, and he's not scared to go over the middle. And he's really good with contested catches. And he played basketball, so he can jump, man. He's got some athleticism. Ron Rivera drafted all athletic guys with speed this draft. So it looks like John Bates is another guy with some good athleticism. So also Bobby McCain picked off Ryan Fitzmagic, or, I guess he was Fitztragic on that one. Bobby McCain was in the right place at the right time. This is from John Conn. He picks off Ryan Fitzmagic over the middle. One play before, Fitzmagic threw a good pass to Terry McLaurin. So, Fitzmagic and Fitztragic. We see it. One play was Fitzmagic, one play was Fitztragic. Threw a good pass to McLaurin, threw a pick to Bobby McCain. But this is good to hear from Bobby McCain, man, because, he can play free safety and corner. Really good at nickel corner. We want to see him. I want to see him play well. I was pretty excited with the pickup. I thought it was a pretty solid pickup. Was a captain with the Dolphins. Him and Fitzmagic did play with the Dolphins together. So maybe Bobby McCain has a good sense of where Fitzmagic wants to go with the football and reading his eyes. But Bobby McCain, man, he should definitely bring something to the table. Some, of course, position flex, and he's a great communicator, and brings leadership to the roster, of course. So that's really good to hear from Bobby McCain. Also, another good play that I heard was Jared Patterson just made a heck of a run. This is from Zach Selby as well. He just made a heck of a run, heck of a cut during 11-on-11 drills. All he needed was one move, and he's sprinting up the middle of the defense. So I'm excited to see my guy Jared Patterson, 5 foot. He's like 5'6", 5'7". Of course, the cliche compare of him to Darren Sproles or Maurice Jones-Drew. Maybe he could be that guy. Maybe he could be a good punt returner as well. I'm excited to see what he can do. He's got good speed, he's very shifty, he makes good cuts. So I think he can definitely compete with Lamar Miller and Peyton Barber to make that last running back spot. We need somebody else to help out Antonio Gibson and carry that workload. So I'm excited to hear about that. Maybe he could be punt returner as well. Ron Rivera did talk about punt returning today. He named Dax Milne, DeAndre Carter, and he still said Steven Sims. Steven Sims was at practice today. JP Finley said that Steven Sims looked really quick out there. So did Isaiah Wright. And JP Finley actually said Isaiah Wright and Steve Sims had good practices today. They looked very quick. Steve Sims did catch a touchdown pass from Fitzmagic. He dumped it off towards the sideline. So sounds like Steven Sims made some pretty solid plays today. But like I said about Cam Sims, sometimes guys are really good in practice, but when the lights come on, they just I don't know what happens. They drop the football, they muff punts and things like that. So I highly doubt Steve Sims makes the roster. I think Isaiah Wright can make the practice squad, but I don't see Steve Sims making the roster, to be honest with you. But it sounds like he had a good practice day. He's quick and shit. The guy has talent, but I don't see him making the roster, to be honest with you. Same thing with Isaiah Wright, probably practice squad. Cornelius Lucas started at right tackle and not Sam Cosmi, so that is interesting. It's still very early OTAs, so that is a camp battle. Cornelius Lucas versus Sam Cosmi. They want Sam Cosmi to start at right tackle. Leno was at left tackle. So we'll see what happens with that battle. Maybe Cornelius Lucas will win and beat out Sam Cosmi for that right tackle spot. The second round rookie out of Texas. Some nuggets about Jamin Davis. He started at middle linebacker. Cameron Curl started at safety, and DeShazer Everett was the other safety out there. That was a base 4-3. Reported from JP Finlay. So Jamin Davis he's been a middle linebacker last week as well in OTA. So it looks like they really, really want him to start at Mike linebacker. So they're throwing some things at him. And then also another nugget about Jamin Davis. He said, Jack Del Rio just said that Jamin Davis is all business, just like how Chase Young came in last year, being a leader, getting to work. So I'm excited to hear that about Jamin Davis, and especially him, because he's calling out plays, getting guys, where they need to be in the huddle. So we need Jamin Davis to step up and definitely be that vocal leader. So I'm happy to hear that he's going out there being all business, just like Chase Young last year. And then the other days, Ben St. Juste had an interception, so he's been looking pretty good. Jack Del Rio said he's excited to see Ben St. Juste and Will Jackson, that they added depth at the cornerback spot. They added some length and the guys with long wingspans. And some physical corners, man, that can play man. Last year we played a lot of zone, so we can switch up this year, play some man and zone at the same time. So we'll be very versatile, some position flex there with Ben St. Juste as well. So we got some long, lengthy corners that are very physical and very competitive. Jack Del Rio is excited about that. So let's see what else we have here. John Bates looked good. Brandon Sheriff said he's hopeful that he can sign a long-term deal with Washington, but he's leaving that up to his agent. Says he's not focused on such matters. So we'll take that for whatever it's worth. They have until July 15th to get a deal done. So we heard the same thing last year when he was on the franchise tag. So we'll see what happens. I wouldn't get my hopes up too much on that. Logan Thomas had a good one-handed catch today, per Ron Rivera. And then also last nugget here is that Steven Montez was doing non-quarterback drills. They said they want him in that Taysom Hill role, so we'll see what happens, man. Maybe he can play wide receiver, maybe he can play running back. Well, maybe he can be a punt returner too. We'll see what happens. And he said that's just an emergency thing, but they are serious about trying him at that Taysom Hill role. That was reported over when the season ended. So once again, like I said, DeAndre Carter is going to be trying out for punt returner Steven Sims and Dax Milne. So those are some of the guys right there. So, and that's about it. They do have practice tomorrow, and then they have mandatory mini camp June 8th through the 10th. And then Landon Collins was also doing some drills just to get back from the Achilles injury. He wasn't doing too much out there. So that's all I got today from OTAs. Taylor Heinecke looks yoked. He looks strong. He looks like he's ready to go out there and compete for that starting job. So I'm excited to see him. Excited that Montez Sweat is back too, man. He had 9 sacks. He led the team in sacks last year. So I'm excited to see him get better. I want to see him, make a Pro Bowl or make All Pro or just make even more of an impact, swatting the ball down. I'm excited to see Montez Sweat and of course Chase Young, but Montez Sweat, that guy he's a beast too. I think some people sleep on Montez, and I think he's a guy that can definitely wake some people up. Just the national, I think he can wake some people up this year. And I'm hearing Matt Ioannidis is looking good in practice as well, coming back. So, all right, you guys, hail the football team. Peace.